And we are back at Wegmans. Hello everybody, welcome and welcome back. I am CrisTheGirl. This is my fiance Tampa Jay.
Hello everyone.
We are on day who knows how many of our spooky road trip here.
6 or 7.
And we find ourselves back in Maryland, back at a Wegmans, a different Wegmans from where we are just a few days ago, where we were just a few days ago. We're not going to be staying here for long though, don't worry, it's not another Wegmans video here. We are heading just a little bit further in whatever direction to head towards Baltimore because there's some spooky happenings going on in there. Edgar Allan Poe, an author you may or may not have heard of, a spooky author you may or may not have heard of. He used to live in Baltimore. In fact, I'm pretty sure he passed away there. We're going to be going over to his house. It is a museum now. We have reserved tickets. We're going to take a little tour of the museum. We're also going to check out where his grave is, which is just down the street from there. There's some spooky happenings going on in Baltimore, as I said. We're going to see some of it today. So thank you so much for clicking on the video.
Nice
really
guys.
Appreciate it. Hope that you enjoy it. Without further ado, let's go. All right, we're just making our way through Wegmans here, and look at this freaking gigantic bag of kettle corn. Holy crap, that is big. That's the biggest bag of kettle corn I have ever seen. I'm kind of tempted to get it, I'm not gonna lie. I do like kettle corn, just better be good because otherwise we're stuck with a lot of popcorn. Also, went ahead and grabbed some flowers since we're visiting some graves today. Figured that would be a good idea. And we were just grabbing another jug of water here, and look at this. Halloween, we found some Halloween. It's candy, Halloween candy. Do they have any Reese's?
Oh yeah.
Are they
It's all
pumpkin
open.
shaped? Ooh, there are some pumpkin shaped ones in there.
25
Nice.
count, 75
Okay.
count.
Since left Wegmans, and check it out. Just a little bit away, there's Baltimore. This is gonna be both of our first times here in Baltimore. Been through a lot of tunnels so far on this spooky trip. Tunnels are pretty spooky in and of themselves, at least to me they are. And directly off of North Amity Street, here it is, Edgar Allan Poe's house. Now, he lived in a couple of different locations. I know there's a museum in Richmond. I think you were saying the other day he was born in Boston.
Born in Boston, went to college in Virginia, I believe.
Yeah, so he's lived in a number of places, but I do believe that this is the location where he passed away. I don't know if it was inside of the building, but like it would have been here in Baltimore. Now, to go inside of the museum here, as you can see, it's a very, very tiny building here. So you do have to plan in advance. You have to buy your tickets online in advance. You have to make a reservation. They're only open a certain amount of hours. They only let a certain amount of people inside of there. So there's no walk-ups or anything like that. You have to buy the tickets in advance. I believe they were $10 each for adults.
Not bad.
I paid a little bit extra to get a souvenir guidebook. And I believe the tours are also self-guided as well. Here's the sign out front. You can visit poebaltimore.org to book a tour. Reservations are required. They begin at the top of the hour. I believe we have about 10 more minutes. And yeah, we're just gonna wait outside until someone comes out. But they do have some signage here. So Edgar Allan Poe House, if you wanna pause the screen and take a read here. The sign says that he lived here with his grandmother, Elizabeth Carnes, and his first cousins, Virginia and Henry Clem, and his aunt. Okay.
Full house.
Yeah, full house.
Big.
It also says that it was here that Poe decided to turn his hand from writing poetry to fiction. A number of early tales were presumably written in this house, including the gruesome Bernice. Definitely looking forward to learning more about Edgar Allan Poe. I'm going to be honest with you, I know virtually next to nothing about his life. I really don't, not going to lie. So I hope that we learned some new things today. I'm excited. All right, we just got all checked in. We got our souvenir guide maps. Has a lot of really cool information about Poe in here. They said that it's not 100% necessary to have this to go through the house and whatnot. So I'm really looking forward to reading this later.
Really nice.
They also gave us a brief kind of summary history of Edgar Allan Poe. So he lived here for 2 years. This was technically his grandmother's house. And yeah, the most important part is that this is where he started writing short stories. So very cool. We're gonna head inside. It's a self-guided tour. Let's go. Let's do this. All right, just double check to make sure we're good to go with filming, and we are. And right away we're greeted with Poe's time in Baltimore. There's a whole timeline in here. Definitely take a photo of this because I really want to learn more about him and like his life. It sounds very fascinating.
He only lived 40 years.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I thought he was older than that.
Yeah, me too, actually. I guess his death was pretty mysterious, apparently.
He was mysterious.
Yeah. In this house lived Edgar Allan Poe. Nice little plaque in here. Rockingham porcelain dinner service glassware. This fine porcelain and glassware was owned by the Allan family household during Edgar Allan Poe's life with his foster family in Richmond, Virginia.
Drink out of that cup.
Yeah, he might have. All right, we'll get back to the main area in there in a second. Let's move on to the next house, next room in here. Edgar Allan Poe's Baltimore. Places in Baltimore associated with Poe. I know there's a lot of them. We only have so much time here in Baltimore. We're not going to check all of them out today. But apparently there's quite a lot of Poe stuff going on here in Baltimore, which is pretty cool. Oh, look at that. I think I know where they got that from. I think Michael's, yeah. Ooh, a touchscreen.
Yeah, Poe House history. Poe's of Baltimore. There's the house we're in.
Nice.
And a tiny brick house in Baltimore. It's North Amity
Street.
1833 to 1835, Edgar Allan Poe wrote some of the early stories that would make him the father of the modern short story and create and define the modern genres of mystery, horror, and science fiction.
Very, very, very important writer for us spooky folks out there, especially those spooky folks who love to read horror stories, science fiction, mystery, all of that good stuff. Really cool. Poems presumed to be penned while Poe lived here. Say that 5 times fast. Latin hymn, Enigma, Serenade, To Sleep On, Fanny, the Colosseum, To Elizabeth, and To Mary. Stories presumed to be penned while Poe lived here. Ms. Found in a Bottle, or MS Found in a Bottle probably, The Visionary, Lionizing, a Tale, Shadow, a Parable, Seal, a Fable, Bernice, a Tale, Morella, King Pest the First, a tale containing an allegory, and Hans Pifall, a tale. Alright, we'll get back to this room in a second too, but let's head up into the stairs in here. It's a very, very small house. I see why you gotta make reservations. It's also only one person up the stairs at a time, and yeah, very winding staircase. You stay there. Don't move. Okay. Oh boy. Yeah, see? Very steep. Okay, here's the next room in here. I want to give you all some sweeping shots as much as I can, so letting the other families, guests in here, do their thing. We've got this room to ourselves for the time being. Ooh. Edgar Allan Poe House and Museum, this nice little plaque in here. Also, we have some photos, it looks like. Poe-related photos. Oh, here's a family tree. Edgar Allan Poe's family roots in Baltimore. So yeah, apparently his mom died of tuberculosis only when he was 2 years old. His father left the family as well, so he was adopted by the Allan family. That's how he got his middle name, Allan, but he kept Poe at the end. And then this talks about who lived in this house with Edgar. So Maria Poe Clem, parental aunt, Elizabeth Carnes Clem, married to David Poe Sr., so his grandfather, Henry Clem, Maria's only son, and then Virginia Eliza Clem, who was 7 years old when Edgar Allan Poe came to stay with her in this home. Cool. Ooh, yeah, we've got some quotes by some famous people. See, I think of Stephen King when they were talking about the short stories because I love Stephen King's short stories. Poe was the first writer to write about main characters who were bad guys or mad guys, and those are some of my favorite stories. I feel like Stephen King had to have been severely influenced by Edgar Allan Poe. What do you think?
Oh yeah, that's a known fact.
Yeah,
Stephen
definitely.
King has said many a times that Edgar Allan Poe is a huge inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorites, Alfred Hitchcock. I did a PowerPoint project on Alfred when I was in middle school. It's because I liked Edgar Allan Poe's stories so much
That I
began
begin
to make suspense.
to make
I can't do
suspense.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I can't do it either. I began to make suspense films. I don't know. I can't. I can't do it. But yeah, I could definitely see Alfred Hitchcock being very influenced by him as well. I think of Alfred Hitchcock. I think of Stephen King. I mean, horror stories, sci-fi, literally my most favorite genre of all time. So yeah, I totally get it. I was just wondering, what room is this? It's the rear bedroom. It is believed that this small apartment served as one of the family's bedrooms, and it divulges in the 5-foot addition made to the rear of the house sometime before 1879. The chimney intruding into the room once served a cooking stove in the kitchen. The original back wall would have passed in front of the chimney, making the room much smaller than it is today. Although the bedroom assignments during Poe's residence are not known, many believe that Edgar shared a bed in this room with his cousin Henry, so he might have stayed in here, and it would have been a lot smaller than this, which is very hard to believe because holy moly is this a small room. Very narrow, yeah. Yeah, this is it. Cool. The room that we're in now, just up the stairs, right over here. The master bedroom area. The largest room in the home. It's actually bigger than the parlor where we just entered as well. It's the only room on the second floor with a fireplace, the only one in the house with a closet. It is believed that this bedroom would have been that of Elizabeth Poe, Edgar's grandmother. Here we go, a fireplace here. I like that they've got his photo. Cool. Let's do a little sweeping view for you. Thankfully, they've got some air conditioning units and whatnot in here. So if you hear a loud noise, that's probably what that is. But look at this, traveling writing desk. Finely made English traveling lap desk with compartments for writing utensils, ink, and paper. Descended in the estate of John Allan, Edgar's foster family and namesake. Family history relates that this desk was used by Edgar Allan Poe while in school at the University of Virginia. Wow. That's amazing. It's really beautiful. Yeah. It's really pretty. Here's a chair over here. Bowback Windsor chair made out of oak. This chair descended in the family of Henry Herring, Edgar Allan Poe's uncle. Poe visited Herring often while living in Baltimore on his many return trips. When found unconscious in Baltimore on October 3rd, 1840, Dr. Snodgrass and Herring moved Poe to Washington College Hospital, where he would die 4 days later. At Poe's funeral, Henry Herring provided his mahogany casket. Wow. So this was Herring's chair. Poe might have sat in that at some point. Here's a telescope. Says that he had a lifelong passion for science, especially astronomy. This telescope on stand was owned by his foster father, John Allan, and would have been in the Allan household when Edgar lived with them. So he probably used this at some point as well, too. And this sign here talks about Edgar's grave, which we're going to head to after this. which I'm really, really looking forward to seeing that. We got the flowers for him. We're all ready to go. All right, so again, it's only one person at a time up the stairs, so I think we're clear to go. Let's give it a shot. Yeah, it's not ADA accessible. Just keep that in mind if you have any mobility issues. Oh wow, we can't even go in here. Oh my gosh. It is stifling hot. Oh, shoot, okay, don't move the glass. We just did that. Don't do that. Don't touch the glass. Look at this. I love what they did up here. I love the stuffed raven. That's fantastic. Wow. Edgar Allan Poe. It's amazing. Incredibly, 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 incredibly important part of horror history. Alright, we're gonna make our way back down here. Finish checking out the bottom level. Platform sandals may not have been a good idea today. Just saying. Okay, here's a nice overview of one of the first rooms that we were in here. They've got a lot of really, like I said, a lot of really cool stuff to do here in Baltimore in regards to Edgar Allan Poe. So many things to see. I've already come up with like a bunch of ideas of what we can do next time, so we will be back. How about that? We will definitely be back. And this room that we're in here is the kitchen. This tiny chamber would have served as a kitchen and possibly the dining area. The room was enlarged by a 5-foot extension made to the back of the house before 1879. However, it was restored to its original size by the Edgar Allan Poe Society. Okay. It's tiny, but hey, it's doable. Yeah. And then just a look here at the first room that we entered inside of. They've got a little gift shop in here, which is really fun. This is the parlor sitting room area. This front room was the parlor or sitting room and remains unaltered from Poe's time. It would have been the area that saw the most activity and where callers would have been received. Poe may have had a desk in this room, or Maria a sewing table, as it is believed she took in work as a seamstress. The parlor's fireplace, as well as one directly above the master bedroom, share the same flue. Both were a part of the original 1832 design, and this home that's right underneath here, right behind the mugs. Got a lot of shirts and souvenirs, keychains, shot glasses, mugs, little Poe dolls, and some more stuff over in here. Books, of course. You gotta have some books. These little raven stuffies are cute. I think those might be dog toys. They've got flying finger crows, of course, or ravens. Let's just say they're ravens. I like the hat too. That's pretty neat. All right, that was awesome. Really, really, really cool to see. Very important piece of history right here. So very much looking forward to seeing the other Poe locations someday, especially the one in Richmond, because I passed that one alongside 95 like all the dang time. So someday we'll do that one too, although apparently he never lived in that location, which is still okay, not a big deal. There's Virginia locations for Edgar Allan Poe as well. But yeah, that was really, really awesome. Definitely a very special tour. Not for everybody, like I said, not very ADA accessible. There's no bathrooms in there too, by the way. And man, was it hot. Holy bananas. But really, really, really cool experience. Happy that we have this nice little gift souvenir to read at some point as well. What did you think?
I'm a huge fan of Edgar Allan Poe. This has been high up on my bucket list. That was amazing.
Yeah.
I'm glad we came here today.
Yeah, me too.
When you mentioned it, I knew this was going to go down.
Yeah.
We were just passing right through Maryland. And
last minute decision.
I learned a lot in there too. I didn't realize he was 40.
Uh-huh.
Just the amount of works he did in that short time frame. I mean, you're only, you're in your teenage years, and then all of a sudden you're in your 20s, and you just barely make it through your 30s, and you're considered a legend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. All right. Let's head over to his grave. It's just right down the street. Also, our tour guide was saying that right across the street here from the Poe house, you can buy a brick and they'll put it in this spot in here, and you can put your favorite Edgar Allan quotes in here, or just your name, or whatever you want.
Eddie,
Pretty neat.
I am yours forever.
Even in the grave, all is not lost.
Thank you for keeping
Poe,
Baltimore,
for keeping Poe alive. Nice. I smiled, for what had I to fear? As we're heading to the grave, check it out right in front of us. Welcome to the B&O Railroad Museum, birthplace of American Railroad. That is pretty cool. All right, currently off of West Fayette Street. Look at that. They've got a sign for the Poe house. We're going to head to the graveyard next. Got the flowers already. And they've got a sign right here, too. Star Spangled Banner National Historic Trail. Francis Scott Key, of course, a very important part of the Star Spangled Banner because, you know, he wrote it. So,
oh, say can you.
and look at this, right up at the very top. Don't even have to go that far. Edgar Allan Poe. Wow, that is quite a memorial here. Hey, Edgar. Hope you're sleeping well, my friend. Got you some flowers that I would leave here for you. Here we go. Here, let me grab some of those. Whoop, let go. Or just take it. There we go. Okay. There's also a Maria Poe Clem in here as well, so I'll just leave these here for her too. Wow. Edgar Allan Poe. Born January 20th, 1809, died October 7th, 1849. Only 40 years old. Oh, and Virginia's over here too. Okay, I'll grab some flowers for her. Virginia Clem Poe. Born August 15th, 1822, died January 30th, 1847. A monument to the memory of Edgar Allan Poe. My idea in designing this monument was to produce something simple, chaste, and dignified, to strike more by graceful outlines and proportions than by crowding with unmeaning ornament. Yeah, I like that. It's very nice. This talks about, well, yeah, the monument that we were just looking at. Designed by architect George A. Frederick. Nice little signage in here. A wreath-laying tradition done today on Poe's January 19th birthday dates to the 1920s. Those are the gates that we just walked through as well. Poe's Baltimore talks more about that. A few more places on here that he was associated with here in Baltimore. That's where we just were. And his house there. Yeah, Virginia was the daughter of Maria Clem and his first cousin, and she was 13. Not cool, Poe, not cool. But just like Tampa Jay said back then, that was pretty common. Lots of famous people actually did something very similar to that. So that's something, but
Never
you know.
bored.
Oh yeah, cool. Poe is best known for the Raven. And it's also what Baltimore named their football team after, which honestly, had no idea. Just walking through the graveyard in here, definitely lots of old graves in here. Next to this beautiful church. The tour guide was telling us in the house that Poe's original resting place was behind the church, so that's where we're heading to now. And we're behind the church now, so it would have been somewhere back in here. I'm sure maybe it was a lot smaller back then. I don't know. There's a lot of influential people, a lot of old graves back in here, so maybe not. I'm not sure why they moved his grave. I'm not gonna lie to you all, but they did apparently. Very interesting that there are, I was about to say bodies in the ground, but we're in a graveyard. Where else would they be, I guess? But you gotta watch where you step. I thought this was a sidewalk for a second. That's definitely not a sidewalk. We're walking around them. Yeah, perhaps somewhere in here he was originally laid to rest. Here in Baltimore. Very cool. A nice graveyard area. Aha, look at that. Quoth the Raven, nevermore. Original burial place of Edgar Allan Poe from October 9th, 1849 until November 17th, 1875. Mrs. Maria Clem, his mother-in-law, lies upon his right, and Virginia Poe, his wife, upon his left, under the monument erected to him in this cemetery. Wow, what a beautiful gravestone. Yeah. Wow. Again, I hope you're resting in peace, Edgar Allan Poe, and Maria, and Virginia. And then right next door, burial place of David Poe Sr., patriot and grandfather of Edgar Allan Poe. Right next door. Cool. I'm glad we walked a little bit further back. We're trying to find Francis Scott Key next. Yeah, we're just walking around trying to find it, check it out. There's even graves underneath the church in here. Had to make use of the space, I suppose. Yeah, they built the stuff over it, clearly. But yeah, you can see in there. And just to look at the front of the church here, it's really pretty. Really, really pretty. Got more signage here. Building on top of the burying ground. Yep, they certainly did, as we saw. Very, very interesting. Personally, never seen anything like it, but haven't spent that much time in cities, so I guess it makes sense. All right, we were mistaken. We thought he was here, but he's actually somewhere else, buried somewhere else in Maryland. So he's not inside of here. That's okay. Hope you're also resting in peace, Francis Scott Key. That was awesome. Edgar Allan Poe's gravesite.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Rest in peace, everybody in here. Please stay here. We come in peace, we leave in peace. We're back inside of the car because it is freaking hot out there. Oh my gosh.
102 right now.
That's what the car says.
In Baltimore.
Yeah. Oh man. But that's it. That's going to be it for today's video. Just wanted to highlight some of the spots here for Edgar Allan Poe in Baltimore. Like I mentioned very briefly, this was a last-minute decision. Didn't do any research, didn't spend any time trying to figure out a whole plan here in Baltimore. We will someday. We'll come back someday. We'll check it out. We'll check out more Poe sites too. I think that would be really cool, really interesting. There's also more spooky things to do here in Baltimore as well. We just don't really have a ton of time right now. We want to get to our next location and kind of rest a bit on this spooky road trip. We have been going really hard this entire time. It's been a lot of fun. It's our vacation, but at the same time, we're working super hard on this trip. But it's been a lot of fun, and I just appreciate you all coming along with us. You know, I don't get out too much. I don't really get out too much. I don't do too many road trips. Or too much traveling. I do a fair amount, but I don't do as much as I would like to. So I wanted to really take advantage of this trip and see as much as possible, take you all along with me, because yeah, we don't have this opportunity too often. So really neat that we got to spend some time here in Baltimore and learn a bit more and pay tribute and respect to one of the most amazing writers ever in history.
So influential.
Who, yeah, influenced so much of the horror and sci-fi and mystery and just spooky, creepy stuff that we know of today. So that was definitely quite an honor for the both of us, and I hope that you all enjoyed it as well. Again, thank you so much for watching. Tampa Jay didn't film today, but he does have a channel. Link is always down in the description below. Make sure you check it out.
Thank you.
And with that, we will see you all a little bit later. So got plenty of adventures coming up here very, very soon. Thanks again for watching.
Thanks, everyone.
See you later, everybody. Bye-bye.